The WIBC Queens title is one of the most honored and respected titles in professional bowling and has been captured by some of the greatest women bowlers in history. Tonight, a new champion will leave wearing the coveted tiara. Who will it be? Find out next. The bookends for tonight's show are a pair of veterans qualifying fifth, seven-time titleist Kim Terrell. And in the top seed position, four-time runner-up to Player of the Year, Carolyn Doran-Ballard. They hold together three books yet to be read, qualifying fourth, fresh out of college, amateur Robin Crawford. In the third position, the 98 AMF World Cup champ, Maxine Nabel. And holding the number 2 spot in her first event as a pro, Kelly Kulik. WBA begins a 12-week tour in Sunrise, Florida, just outside of Fort Lauderdale, where you'll find the beautiful Las Olas riverfront with specialty shops, dining, and entertainment. Welcome inside Sawgrass Lanes for the finals of the 2001 WIBC Queens Tournament. Hello everyone, I'm Jan Schmidt, and I'm so glad you joined us for the start of the PWBA season. We begin with an event rich in heritage, one of the most prestigious on the PWBA schedule. It's run for 41 consecutive years. It's a double elimination format. 5 players have survived, 4 with 1 loss, and of course our top seed, she's undefeated. She'll have 2 opportunities tonight. At my side for this special event is my partner, Kathy Doran-Lizzie, recently wed. Welcome, Kathy.
Thank you, Jan.
Kathy, will it be tough for the players to begin with such a big event and a major like the Queens?
Well, yes and no, Jan. The ladies are just coming off of a 5-month break, and they are more than ready to get started and bowl competitively. But for the touring players, there's still 11 weeks left to go, and that could take its toll on some of the ladies. This is a long week, the formats are different, and it really forced the ladies to stay on top of their mental and physical game.
We'll see in the next few weeks if it does take a toll. One of the players that will not be affected because she won't be bowling is our number 4 seed. She's the Alberta E-Crow Star of Tomorrow award recipient in 2000, Robin Crawford.
Well, our only amateur to make the telecast, 21 years old, fresh out of college, told us last night in her interview she was not nervous at all during the week, but I think because of her lack of experience and lack of understanding what she's in for tonight, I think we might get a little bit of a wake-up call from those nerves.
Well, on the flip side, our top seed, Carolyn Doran-Ballard, is well aware of the importance of this event and is probably putting too much pressure on herself. Kathy, how about her nerves?
Well, no one knows more about nerves than Carolyn Doran-Ballard. She will tell you herself that she is nervous every frame of every game, but that motivates her. It keeps her focused. It keeps her tough. She led this tournament in 1995, finished second. This is the prestigious event. It's a major. It's one we all want on our resumes, and Carolyn will stop at nothing until she gets that crown.
Well, we'll find out in an hour if she does get it. Right now, let's get to the first match. Crawford will be joined by Terrell and Nabel. Opening handshake. Rounds of 3, and we are ready for the 2001 WIBC Queens. Kathy, it's so great to have you with us here.
It's so great to be here. It's been a long week.
The first match, as always, if you were with us last year, 3 players in this match. Only the top score will advance. Maxine Nabel, first look at her, coming up light, leaving the 2-5.
This is only Maxine's 3rd Queens. She bowled fantastic yesterday.
And there's a look at Robin Crawford, as you mentioned, an amateur just graduated just a couple of weeks ago.
She doesn't appear to be nervous.
No, she sure doesn't. Maxine Nabel shooting the spare. She changed balls there, Kathy.
Throwing a plastic ball. Maxine also told us she worked very hard on her spare game over the break. She wasn't pleased with how she performed last year and definitely said she saw the improvement this week.
Kim Terrell from Daly City, California. You have a look at her strengths, adjusting to conditions and weaknesses, confidence level.
Yeah, she is just beautiful to watch.
She knows how to move as conditions change. She knows what ball. There were a lot of things she's good at adjusting to besides just the lane condition.
Yeah, she adjusts her surfaces, her equipment, really pays attention. Very smart bowler.
That being Kim Terrell. Now we're looking at Maxine Nabel again up in the second frame.
Great shot.
4-pin, almost a 410. She almost had a bad break on that shot.
Maxine really throws a heater. She throws a lot of power.
Kim Terrell also changing to spares, changing balls for the left side spare as well. Now, do you change balls for left and right side spares, Kathy? Or?
I throw a plastic ball at every spare except any spare that has double wood.
Right, because and the reason you wouldn't use it on double wood.
I feel because it deflects. Most women don't throw it hard enough that the plastic ball will stay on target.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Robin Crawford now up in the second frame, and she, as you said, did not have nerves, and there may be a little indication of nerves.
Welcome to the Queens. Another look at Kim Terrell in 26.
Kim always does well at this event.
Yeah, she made the show last year in Reno. 6-12.
John Badiato and his staff at Maplewood Lanes in Omaha, Nebraska host the Lady Pros from May 20th through the 24th for the Miller High Life Open. Then the PWBA heads to Southwest for the Albuquerque Open May 27th through the 31st at Silva Lanes of Albuquerque. And then on to Mesa for the Wheelchair Awareness Classic at Country Club Lanes in Mesa, Arizona, June 2 through June 7. Contact those centers for Pro-Am and tournament information, and be sure to come out and watch the greatest women bowlers in the world. You will not be disappointed. You'll have a great time. Pro-Am's always enjoyable. Kathy, do you like bowling the Pro-Ams?
I love bowling the Pro-Ams. You get to meet so many people, and actually you can, we learn a tip here and there from somebody.
As you can see, Robin Crawford, flawless through 2 frames. Although in the second frame, Maxine Nabel now with her first strike. Robin Crawford will step up, and as she does, I need to mention right off the bat, once again, a $50,000 bonus award for any woman that shoots 300 on television, presented by Travelodge.
Oh, excellent. Wouldn't that be nice? Ooh, came up a little high on that one.
Now that's an interesting spare for a right-hander to leave.
Yeah, if I were her, I'd probably just go for the wood, get the pins. You don't see that every day.
Kim Terrell, as you were talking about, strong in this event. 3rd last year, but she's hoping to go farther this year in the Queens.
Yeah, she's got some really big goals for herself this year. Wants to win at least twice. Feels a little underachieved, but 7 titles, what a great bowler. It's hard to believe.
That's Kim Terrell, and that was in her weakness on the bio listed confidence level, and we would expect her to have more confidence than she does.
Absolutely. Just look at her. I mean, she's flawless when you just look at her. Smart bowler, great bowler. Knows the right moves. Is this there? Maxine now working on a strike. Boy, can she scatter the pins.
As you can see, Maxine in the lead. As she doubles. And just so you know, we are using a little bit different scoring this year because the professionals typically strike, or we want to assume they'll strike. So all of our plus or minuses, if you're looking at home and saying, wait a minute, that's not right. Pluses or minuses are judged off of a 300 game, assuming that that bowler up there will continue to strike.
Yes.
As opposed to the par 20 per frame that we used to use.
Right.
Because these are the elite and the best athletes in the world.
That's right. What you see is the best right here. Solid 10 pin by Robin. Beautiful shot though. Now Kim coming up a little bit high. That was the tricky thing about the condition this week. You really had to wait for them to play to you. Sometimes you had to just ride through the transition until you got comfortable.
So by transition, you're meaning the conditioner moving and changing and causing you to have to change lines or change equipment.
Yeah, some girls even said that they had to make major moves. Couldn't just move 1 or 2 boards. It had to be maybe 6 or 7 boards. And Kim converts the spare.
Well, we'll be right back with more action from Sawgrass Lanes through 4 frames. Maxine Nabel is your leader. Stay with us. Is that correct? Because that's going to confuse the heck out of me. I'll tell you that right now. No.
Please don't sit on the left.
Yeah, you don't want to be. Did you see what Robin did?
1, 2, 4, and she got the head second.
You're only doing the 300 one now. Yes. Can you see the pins past this camera?
Yes, I can see the 10 pin.
Is this our handheld guy? Okay, all right. Because I normally can see and I can't see the right lane. Okay, that's fine. Okay,
That's Maxine's third 10 pin in a row.
okay. Not plus or minus. What do we? Their score to assume to figure the plus or minus. So you're going to assume that she can strike out what her score would be minus what the other bowler is. So she's smooth here, so she can 36, 76 to 236. She can shoot. She can shoot. She can shoot 236. She can shoot 220. So she's 16 pins ahead of her. No, no, no. That's how to figure the plus or minus. Well, the championship round finals of the 2001 WIBC Queens tournament are being brought to you by the Women's International Bowling Congress, striving for 86 years to identify and fulfill the needs of women bowlers. By El Dorado, Silver Legacy, and Circus Circus, presenting sponsors of the 2001 WIBC Queens tournament. And by Travelodge Hotels, first with families, relax with Travelodge. Welcome back to the WIBC Queens event. While we were away, Maxine Nabel, difficulty with 10 pins, 3 of them in a row, and open for Robin Crawford. Kim Terrell, strike, spare, strike. Kim Terrell actually leads by 2 pins now because she will be able to strike out for more than Maxine Nabel. Maxine working on a spare here in the 7th frame.
Oh, finally kicks the 10 pin out. Great shot.
And that's exactly what we saw during the break, except the 10 did not fall.
No. And that's all the entry angle into the pocket on this type of condition.
Robin Crawford keeping herself in this match, and she looks awfully tough.
She really does. I'm very impressed. Very impressed. She's keeping her word. She's not nervous, or she's hiding it very well.
Well, as we mentioned, Kim Terrell has been working a lot on her game. She's been working on visualization. She wanted to thank Rod Ross, her ball driller and coach, for all the work he's done with her.
Yes. She really enjoys working with him.
So Kim Terrell maintains a 2-pin lead with that strike. And again,
10-pin for Maxine.
okay, Kathy, 4 out of 5 10-pins. Would you make a change?
I probably would make a little move. Either ball speed, because Maxine does throw it hard. She might want to soften up just a hair, or maybe just move a board either right or left, whichever she feels she could enter the pocket a little different, kick it out, because she's right there.
Light hit for Robin Crawford. You saw that 5-pin bowling. She bowled in Canada. She's from Canada and bowled for 10 years, the 5-pin bowling. So they're really big pins.
Yes, and you get 3 shots. I could have used 3 this week.
You and I both. Attempts to convert the split.
And she gets it. Very good concentration. Keeping herself in the game.
Robin Crawford actually on Team Canada. Meanwhile, Kim Terrell steps up and she can increase her lead here with 1 more strike.
Oh, another great shot by Kim. Her 10 pins look exactly like Maxine's. Probably because the condition's still fairly fresh. May change a little, though, as they go on.
So as the condition changes, the players will get a little different angle into the pocket.
Yeah, I think they might have to, because they may have to make little adjustments, either left or right with their feet, or ball speed, even surfaces. Solid right in the pocket. That's a ring 10.
That was Kim Terrell's last shot. We were showing you how the 6-pin wrapped around the 10.
Makes it no problem.
Spare shooting a big part of the game this week because conditions were challenging.
Absolutely. You could always maybe find 1 or 2 strikes, but you have to make your spares to stay in it. A lot of matches were close and they weren't high scoring.
Now that was not the way I would have chose to pick that spare up.
No.
She didn't mean to do it that way, but it worked nonetheless.
That's right. Oh, and a Brooklyn for Robin. Still keeps her in the match.
Big Brooklyn shot there. Although Maxine Nabel with a strike here would shoot 203, the best Robin Crawford could shoot would be 198.
It'll all be up to Kim Terrell.
That count could hurt her.
Yep. Looks like she slowed up just a little bit on that one.
200 on the nose for Maxine Nabel. Kim Terrell will need a mark.
Well, Robin made an impressive showing here today. She has everything to be proud of.
And she actually she graduated from Morehead State in business management, and she wants a job in the bowling industry, particularly with youth. So if anyone out there is looking for someone, hey, Robin may be your person.
Give her a call. She said she wants to give back to YABA, which she felt she got in her opportunities.
Kim Terrell needing a mark.
Great shot. And she gets it. Perfect. Couldn't have thrown that any better.
She's glancing over to see the score. Robin Crawford, what a great performance, and a delightful young lady.
Yes. Adorable to talk to, very bright. I think we'll be seeing more of her.
She said, being Robin, she said she's going to look into the Pro Tour maybe in 6 or 7 years, but really wanted a career within the bowling industry first.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad she went to college. College is so important. She bowled in college, got a great degree. That's really the way to go.
And Kim Terrell, the spokesperson right now for collegiate bowling.
Yes, travels around, gives great speeches.
So Kim Terrell will move on. But first, when we return, we'll tell you what senior is wearing the tiara right now. Don't go away. Prior to the Queens tournament, the WIBC Senior Queens finals took place. Fran Mitten was the big champion, and she was on hand to collect all of her accolades. Joyce Deitch, the president of WIBC, had the beautiful trophy. Roseanne Kuhn, executive director, was on hand with the tiara. And Barb Chrisman, co-owner of Storm Products and sponsor of the event, had the check. I had a chance to talk with Joyce Deitch, president, about her presidency and about the Senior Queens. I'm with Joyce Deitch, the president of the Women's International Bowling Congress. And Joyce, you actually bowled in the Senior Queens this year. What was it like as a participant?
Well, the first thing that really surprised me, as many years as I have bowled, that I had butterflies that first game. But I came out of that. I had 4 good games. I had 4 not so good games, but it was fun. I really enjoyed the women that I bowled with. They were a terrific group.
Well, you have been president for 9 years, and now you formally announced that you will not run for another term. During your presidency, what's the most important change you've seen in the industry?
The industry is coming together. It has been kind of slow to happen, but we are spending quality time together discussing the problems of the industry, becoming better acquainted with our each individual problems, doing things that are better for all of the sport. And I feel so good about it. I believe in a good group of people.
Well, I think you were a big part of the industry coming together, and on behalf of the industry, the PWBA, and all women bowlers everywhere, we thank you for your years of dedication.
They've been wonderful years, Jan.
Final score of match 1, Kim Terrell 217 to Nable's 200 and Crawford's 188. Kim Terrell now faces the hot rookie prospect Kelly Kulick in just a moment. Boy, maybe our conditions this week were not that tough. This is how they enjoy bowling in the Fort Lauderdale area, outdoors. Underwater bowling. They have a few more obstacles than we have out here on the lanes. Indoors, we're ready for the semifinal match of the WIBC Queens event. Kim Terrell has advanced, and she will face Kelly Kulick. A look at how Kim has been doing.
2 strikes on lane 25, 5 strikes on lane 26. She really bowled a solid game.
Likes 26 a little better, but that included 3 strikes in the 10th frame.
She's still ready to go. She wants that title.
She does, and I mentioned at the top of the show, and I want to reference that the top seed gets 2 opportunities because it's double elimination. If the top seed loses the first match, which would be Carolyn Doran-Ballard, she would have to be defeated a second time.
That's right. Carolyn is the only one that hasn't lost out of everybody, so she gets to lose twice.
Kelly Kulick, her strengths, focus, and concentration, and her weakness, lack of pro experience.
But you'd never know.
No, not today, but, it's tough week to week on the Pro Tour.
She led the U.S. Open last year, finished second. Phenomenal appearance last year. And here she is again. But you're right, week to week, it's a different type of grind.
It is, and when it's your living you're bowling for, it's much different.
Some bills get paid, some don't.
Yours are all paid, right?
Of course.
Taking a little time, a little bit of a breath there.
She's very matured for a non-experienced bowler, bowling with the pros.
Well, she has a wealth of amateur experience.
Well, she said in her interview yesterday she's won everything there is to win practically in amateur, and she wants to go to the next level, and here she is.
This is her first event, as we said, as a professional. Just joined. Both players started striking, so a reminder once again, that 300 award. I'd love to see somebody get $50,000 today in the opening event from Travelodge.
I would too.
Ooh.
Yeah. Not too good of a shot there. Right lane seems to be breaking down a little bit. Maxine went high on the right lane. Kim, 4-step delivery, pushes out on the first step. Very loose arm swing, perfect body position. Very low into the slide, so smooth. Perfect.
You're right, that's sweet to watch.
It is, she's just beautiful to watch.
Well, Kim told us about why she has success in this event.
I think the reason that I've had success in this tournament is a lot of the fact that if you lose, you're out. And that seems to really keep me very motivated and aggressive and somehow this, urgency that goes on that I seem to just have a lot of success with.
And that helps her, in my opinion, my personal opinion. She's great at team and doubles events, and she gets pumped in those. And I think the, as she said, urgency of losing and being out pumps her the same way that
Sure.
team event does.
She doesn't want to lose. She wants to stay in. It also helped bowling with teams in college. I think that really gave a lot of girls the base to come out. And then when you're on your own, you still carry that with you mentally.
Because I know Kim struggled for a period of time getting to that same energy level when she bowled by herself.
Yeah. Well, you do that for 4 years, and it's intense. When you have 4 other people counting on you, patting you on the back, constantly reassuring you that it's okay and that you're great, you're out on your own. You have to do a little of mental adjusting.
Well, you have experience in that. You bowled collegiate.
And I absolutely loved it.
Covers up the 6'10". Fortunate. She thought she was going to chop that for a second.
Let's take a look at Kelly's road to success. She had some really nice matches. She beat Robin Crawford and Carolyn Doran Ballard, 6-13, 6-68.
Yeah, she lost to Carolyn.
Carolyn,
for that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But she averaged 214 for match play, so that's a pretty respectable score.
She had an outstanding day yesterday.
For those of you that don't know how the Queens works, there's 10 games of qualifying, 362 entrants. They then cut to the top 25%, which was approximately 90, and then they bowled 5 more games, and then from there they cut to the top 64 as we look at the maximum score possible for both of these ladies at this point in the match. Obviously, Kelly Kulik, 300. She hasn't missed a strike yet. Kim Terrell, 268. After they're cut to 64, Kathy, then we went into match play.
And then it was double elimination. You were allowed to lose twice. Once you lost your first match, you went into the contenders bracket, where then you couldn't lose, which is what Kim Terrell did. She won all her matches to get to tonight. She bowled 32 games between Wednesday and Thursday, plus the qualifying games, which were 15 more games. So Kim really earned her way.
She did, and those matches, just so they understand, were 3-game matches.
Yes.
Total series, 3-game. So they're long, and it used to be 4 games. They cut it back. But I was in that contenders bracket also, as were you, and it's a long process.
It is. If you're going to lose as late as you possibly can.
Ooh, that was close.
That was close.
Covering up the spare, and Kim Terrell step up now in the 4th frame, trailing. And there's a look at Kim's road here, and she had some huge series toward the end, but you see all the matches she had to do, all of those 3-game matches. Kim Terrell averaged 224.5 in match play.
Excellent shot by Kim. She's not going to give up too easy today. Beautifully out on the lane, nice and strong, great ball speed, perfect right into the pocket, but she's so crisp and clean at her release.
Well, Kim Terrell is down by just 10 pins, but she's on a strike. So if she strikes here in the 5th, we'll be all even.
You know, and you mentioned before, Jan, she worked on her visualization. She also worked on keeping her feet slow. And I think that's a big reason why she clears the fronts so good when she releases her ball. She's so smooth. She never gets early hook. Very consistent clear. She leaves the 9-pin a little high. I think the lanes might be going through just a bit of period of adjustment. Transition.
Again, she'll be changing balls. She's taking a minute, though. A little bit of distraction there. Using her plastic ball to shoot this 9-pin. Covers it easily. Kelly Kulik has the lead in the semifinal match, and we'll see if she can close it out right after this.
Yeah, no, because I was confused there too. All right. Oh, I know. Anne Marie and I are talking about the score, so we figure out. Just lost its name.
Do they know you're even?
There are the beautiful flamingos of Florida, as much a part of Florida as oranges. Inside, O.J. McDuffie of the Miami Dolphins and Kajana Carter of the Cincinnati Bengals on hand here to watch this bowling event. Big bowling fans.
Yeah, nice to see those guys come out and support us.
Kelly Kulik in the lead, doubled while we were away, and continues to strike. Kim Terrell left a bucket, spared it, and a strike in the seventh. So Kelly Kulik leads now by 44 pins.
And I still think the right lane is starting to break down a little bit, although that was the lane Kim left the bucket. But I think she's going through maybe a little transition.
Well, maybe she moved, assuming breakdown, and moved too much.
Yeah, because she did go high a few times in the first match.
So as they break down right now, their move would be, what would you expect it to be?
Well, you know, it's funny because statistically your move would be left if you come up high. But on this pattern, a lot of girls moved right because the further you moved left, you had more hook. Some girls wanted to move right to stay away from the hook. So it really is your preference on where you were more successful. To me, it looks like Kelly's moving in.
Big
Another
strike.
great shot.
Yeah, big strike by Kelly Kulik. Lead did not change there because we expect Kim Terrell to step up and strike also. Record holder for the highest scoring match, 300 to 300 versus Michelle Feldman. That was at the Paul Carter Classic.
Unbelievable.
That was right nearby in Davie, Florida here.
Michelle Feldman loves those 300s.
She does. That was an exciting match.
That was a great shot by Kim on the right lane. Way to come back. Puts a little pressure. At least she's holding her own. Anything can happen.
299 this week. She was so proud of that game. She threw a great game, left a 10 pin in the 10th, but the important thing, she needed that to win that match. 640 to 622 against Neil Grijalva. Kim's first two games, 156, 185, and then pops a 299.
That is a definite example of the mental toughness of the girls that do this day in and day out.
And always come back, always adjust.
Her ball jumps just a little bit high, right on the nose. Lucky for her, the 7-pin gets tapped out, so she only has the 10-pin to shoot at. Should be an easy spare, and it is. She's still trailing. There's one thing about Kelly, though. She can say she has a lack of pro experience, but you'd never know it by her performance. I mean, when she's hot, she's hot. 1999 and 2000 Storm PWBA Amateur Bowler of the Year. This young lady has some amateur statistics. She's done it all. Great shot. Oh, got a little lucky there and took the 2-pin. Now this is the lane that I feel is hooking more. She gets it really nice down the lane, but it pushed a little right there. Comes up a little light, and then she rolls the 2 for a 5-bagger.
Talked about some of the other finishers. There's a look. Tammy Boomershine, Michelle Feldman, you mentioned all those 300 games. Brendan Norman in the truck doing some scoring for us. Sarah Yap from Malaysia out for this event. A lot of countries represented this week.
And what a great game on that young lady. Kelly trying for 6 in a row. Well, comes up a little high and leaves the 3-pin. Beautiful game.
Well, it doesn't matter at this point. The most Kim Terrell could shoot would be 213. Kelly already well beyond that. So her weakness or lack of experience doesn't seem to be affecting her here.
Not at all. I think she might have been pulling her leg, Jan. Well, Kim looked terrific. She bowled fantastic all week. She shot some scores last night. She has 23 other opportunities to win her 2 titles. She'll get them.
Well, she just wanted to start making more shows. She felt she hadn't made enough shows to give herself the opportunity to win.
And I agree. Just watching her bowl, she's flawless. She really is. But I think she's on a great start to a very successful year. She looks great out there. I wouldn't doubt if we didn't see her next week either.
Okay.
And I hope to be right out there.
You know, this is only your first show. You really shouldn't leave me already. Kelly Kulik, big game. 256, beautiful game. Kim Terrell finishes up in 3rd position for $8,000. But it is Kelly Kulik who wins the semifinal match. When we return, we'll recap tonight's matches. Welcome back to Florida. Once again, we're in the Fort Lauderdale area, Sunrise to be specific. So far tonight in match 1, it was veteran Kim Terrell showing her experience, striking in the 10th when she needed it to end the hopes of Nabel and Crawford, 217 to 200 and 188. In match 2, first-time pro Kelly Kulik looked like a veteran. The heck with experience, she defeats Terrell 256 to 185. Coming up next, rookie Kelly Kulik will have to defeat 10-time titleist Carolyn Doran-Ballard twice for the crown. Flashback to May of 2000. Last year, Wendy McPherson needed a strike to shut out Marianne DeRupo in the Queens. And she gets it for her 2nd Queens title and crown, defeats Marianne DeRupo 227 to 202. Which lady will it be this year, Carolyn Doran-Ballard or Kelly Kulik? Carolyn Doran-Ballard as the top seed. As we said earlier, if she would lose this match, they will bowl another match. There's a look at her strengths, accuracy, and mental toughness. Weakness, pressures herself.
Yes, she does. People wouldn't think that, but she does put a lot of pressure on herself, and I think a lot of that has to do with 4 years in a row of being runner-up bowler of the year. You do. You expect a lot out of yourself.
I can't imagine being runner-up 4 years in a row.
I could only imagine.
Well, that's better.
But that's also something to be very proud of. If you can do something like that consistently 4 years in a row, that's something to be proud of.
Kelly Kulik, first event as a professional, and she definitely looks like the veteran National Collegiate Team champion. for Morehead State University.
Right lane again, coming up a little bit high. We also found out with her weakness, besides the lack of pro experience, but her strength, focus, and concentration. And she shows that. Every match she bowls, she's very, very focused. You don't really see her talking or going off to the side. She really stays within herself. That definitely has a lot to do with why she's so talented.
Also talked a bit about her leg strength.
Oh, she's a very strong young lady.
Well, she wanted to be a pro, but how long has Kelly Kulik wanted to be a pro?
My fifth grade teacher, Miss Hoffman, took a poll one day and asked all the students what they would like to be when they grew up. And in fifth grade, I knew back then that I wanted to be a pro bowler. So right underneath my fifth grade picture, it says Kelly Kulik, pro bowler.
We need a copy of that picture, and we need to put it on air. It was certainly accurate.
I wish she had told us that sooner. I could have called her mother and told her to bring the photo. That would have been great. What a great story.
High again, a tough break, 4-7-10.
Now that didn't look too bad, but right at the end.
Last second.
This condition was very unforgiving, first of all, but as you can see right there at the end, takes a little jump. Now she has the 4-7-10 to contend with. But did you notice that also? The lanes were unforgiving. And even when you thought you threw a pretty good shot,
Right.
you had to really adjust yourself.
Very tough. And
yes.
pair to pair.
Great shot.
Well, let's do it all in our first event. Don't mess around. Just get right out there. Pick
This
up
is how you make it.
4-7-10.
Picture perfect slides it right over. And watch her reaction. Do I have it? Yes. She's not going down easy.
No, she's not. Yeah, she's sitting there right now, I think, going, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Meanwhile, Carolyn Doran-Ballard opened with a strike and a little light, leaving a 7-pin.
Which is good, because that's the more hooking lane. So light is good. Picks up her plastic ball. Another girl, the majority of the girls throw plastic balls at their spares, which I think is a great tip for an up-and-coming professional.
Aye. Oh my. I could see that halfway down the lane. It was starting to back off. It actually backed up.
Yeah, hit the conditioner, slid right by it. Now from that angle, it looks perfect.
Thought she had it all the way.
But right there, just keeps going. Hits the oil and just keeps sliding. She can't believe it.
And that's what happens when you use the plastic ball, so you don't get a lot of hook, but you expect it to continue to go in the same direction and not
Exactly.
hit a block and
Yes.
back off.
Well, at least the plastic ball, the moral behind that is you know where it's going. It's going straight. And that's Carolyn. Comes right back with the strike. Now, Jan, you and Carolyn have something in common. You've both been Queens tournament leader, undefeated. What is she thinking? What were you thinking?
Well, when I did it, I didn't have the luxury of having 2 times to lose. I had to win that time, and I was thinking, quite frankly, this may be my only chance, so I better win. And as it turned out, it was, so good thing I did.
But you both fantastic that year, and that was 1993, Baton Rouge.
Well, Carolyn is just thinking, get it over with now, actually. She doesn't want to go to that second game, though.
And I don't blame her. I don't think Kelly does either, though. Well, she would have to.
She would have to,
Yeah.
either way.
Kelly has the, well, let's
Ooh.
see. What does she have? The lane's going crazy.
She had a 610, and apparently the machine didn't like it, so it just swept it, decided to keep on going.
Unfortunately, she has to shoot at it.
Well, while they're trying to take care of the equipment problems, we're going to leave. We'll be right back. Stay with us. We're in that championship match. While we were away, Kelly Kulik converted the 610 spare. And this was her shot in the 4th frame.
No problem there. What a beautiful shot. That's 10 in the pocket.
So Carolyn Doran-Ballard steps up, leading by 3 pins.
Carolyn worked a lot on the break, mentally telling herself to walk through her steps. She said she'd stand there and just mentally say it over and over again and work on her push away. She has a tendency sometimes to turn her hand over, which I think is a common tendency with a lot of players.
You saw she holds the WIBC match play record of 231 average. Tremendous. Another player that does great in the Queens, as do some of these ladies who you'll see in the finish of the Queens every year. Kim Adler did the warm-ups today for us. Chris Hall.
Wendy McPherson, last year's champion. And the lady sitting to the left of me, Jan Schmidt.
Actually snapped a check. Laura Lee Daniel, great tournament for her. Debbie McMullen, Lisa Stack.
Lisa Wagner and Leanne Barrett, both Queens champions also.
So a lot of the ladies consistently do well in this type of atmosphere and format.
A lot of ladies like double elimination.
Ooh, errant shot by Carolyn.
Yeah, totally missed hit that one. That never grabbed the lane. See, here she goes in. Actually, it didn't look too bad, but she looked like she might have pushed it through the break point a little, which was very common this week. If you didn't get to that break point at the proper angle, earlier or late, however you throw the ball, that's what you saw.
Here's our spare maker. Shows you how to convert this spare. So Carolyn decided to do a different way, but that's okay. There's a variety of ways to shoot at your spares.
That was the tricky thing about the condition. You really had to read your ball reaction because the lanes were very, very challenging.
Kelly Kulik now up in the 5th frame. She has a strike in the 4th.
High game 259. I can smell the wood burning with the concentration on Caroline, as we can see. Kelly won't back down, comes back with another strike for a double.
Well, Kim Adler looks to defend her title as the PWBA brings you the finals of the St. Clair Classic next Monday night at 9 p.m. from St. Clair Bowl in Fairview Heights, Illinois. ESPN2 is the home of the best in professional women's bowling for the next 12 weeks, so be sure to check the PWBA website for dates and times. That's www.pwba.com, or check your local listing. They'll help you out. Kelly Kulik now leads by 19 pins as she steps up in the 6th frame. Her maximum score would be 265 if she takes it off the sheet with all strikes. Carolyn Doran-Ballard, max score 246.
Kelly going high on the left lane, leaving the 6 pin.
So if you don't understand it, for those of you at home, that is how we're calculating the plus or minus. Kelly leads by 19 before that shot because her max score was 265. Carolyn's max score was 246. Difference of 19 pins. So that's how we're doing it, just so you can follow along at home. Kelly Kulik going to convert the 6 pin.
Kelly is not only a student, but she also coached 12 years at the Dick Whitker's bowling camps. She also said that she retains more when she's coaching somebody else than when she's being coached.
And I believe that that's true.
I do too. I totally agree with that. I think you hear yourself saying it, and I think you really take more in by doing that than when someone's telling you.
It's also easier to see what that person's doing versus seeing what you're doing, so you associate things a little bit better.
Absolutely.
Coaching. Carolyn Doran-Ballard in the 6th frame. Ooh, light again. 245.
She may have to make an adjustment.
WIBC big sponsors, and this is their event. Roseanne Kuhn, the executive director of the Women's International Bowling Congress, on hand. A great supporter of the PWBA and women's bowling.
And a great lady.
Yes, she is.
Spare maker telling us how to shoot the 245. Common leave when you come up light. She takes the plastic ball right at it. Perfect.
Now, Carolyn was pretty actually disgusted at the end of last year after being runner-up for the 4th year, and she said for the first time she really did not even want to bowl.
No, she actually said she was a little distraught because she was so close again to being Player of the Year, wound up getting runner-up, and she took a little bit of time off, and now she said, after taking a little bit of a breather, I feel refreshed. And of course, she comes out once again and proves that taking a little breather isn't such a bad thing, leading the Queens. Hardest tournament, I believe, to lead and win. And she comes back with a great shot. 5-step approach, solid at the line, really came through that one. Perfect, 10 in the pit. No doubt about it. Did she like it? What do you think?
You asking me? Absolutely. She loved it. Kelly Kulik, we mentioned, a graduate of Moorhead State. She graduated with a degree in physical ed and health ed, K through 12. Very athletic lady.
Yes. Coming up high again on the right lane, leaving the 3-6-10. One thing we want to point out is when she did her interview, let's take a look at her real quick. She comes up a little high, jumps. Lucky that the 7-pin actually got tapped. And this is how you can make the 3-6-10, which isn't an easy spare.
The arrow obviously being where the ball needs to go.
Yes.
The ball will hit the 3, 6, and the 10 pin ideally.
Perfect shot.
Or the 6 will hit the 10. But if you're throwing a light plastic ball, it could deflect and
Yes.
could take out all 3 too.
Yes. But we noticed yesterday during Kelly's interview, she has very big hands. And I noticed that. And I said, you have very big hands, but that's why she is so powerful with her release. Not many women have big hands, and that's why she gets so much power and rotation on her ball.
Well, if you think about it, her hand is so much farther around the ball.
Yes.
It is easier for her to get that rotation, but she made a conscious choice, and there's a look at her grip. As a young child, she wanted to hook the ball like that. And she said, went to Dick Ricker and said, teach me how to hook it like
Yes.
that.
She says, I want to throw it like a man.
And we are in the age today when a woman can do whatever, obviously, a man does. And it's great to see that the kids coming up today know that they can do it and go out
Absolutely.
and pursue it.
Absolutely.
Carolyn stepping up in the 8th frame, and she's working on a strike. Now leads by 2 pins.
That was another great shot.
Oh, with a 7-pin, not going to go down.
Yeah, still a little light on that right lane where everyone else keeps coming up a little bit high. But that's, like I said, that's good because you can make the single pins.
It's smart. She's probably cautious.
Yes, and not only that, but you never want to give the pocket away, regardless of the condition, but especially when it's a little more challenging, such as this.
Oh, my.
She's not going to miss it twice.
Covered it up this time. We talked a little bit about Carolyn's acceptance of being second. She told us what she thinks.
Yes, I've come to peace with being second 4 years in a row. I think it shows a sign of consistency, and I'm always in the running. I also realized that last year there was a lot that went on in my personal life with people suffering with breast cancer and my father having a little bit of a rough year. And you know what? It made me realize that I need to take pride in what I accomplish and don't worry about what I don't.
Important lesson, but I'm not sure she totally learned it. It's a hard one to learn when you're out here.
Sure it is.
Always want more.
Absolutely. I think when the day comes when you don't want more is the day you might want to go part-time or think of retirement.
You're exactly right. I can speak on that subject, Kathy.
Great shot by Carolyn, though, to keep her head above water.
As she mentioned, breast cancer, the WIBC and PWBA in partnership with Susan G. Komen, Carolyn actually raised $1,000 in the bowl for the cure herself over this break. A lot of the ladies active in that. Kelly Kulik up by 18 pins in the 9th. Has a strike in the 8th and disaster.
And on the right lane.
4, 6, 7. And Kathy, I want to see the little spearmaker that says how to make this.
Well, she looked like she got it right at the right time, nice and aggressive, but I just think the track is starting to really burn on the right lane. Ball's going to jump. The further she gets it right, the harder it's going to jump back. She can certainly get it right regardless of how deep she is.
She'll just take 2 here because there isn't a spearmaker for this. Unless she gets lucky and bounces a pin out.
Right. That's the type of split you want to just get the wood.
Especially as she was working on a strike. Those 2 pins give her 4 bonus pins.
Kelly did mention, though, she had to make major adjustments during the week. Quick adjustments and big moves. She didn't just make a 2-in-1 adjustment. She said sometimes she had to move zones.
Kelly Kulik here, the best she can shoot is 199. If she strikes out, she can force Carolyn Doran-Ballard to throw the first strike in the 10th frame. Max score, as you can see, Carolyn Doran-Ballard on pace if she goes off the sheet to shoot 213.
Nice shot by Kelly.
There's number one. She was on Team USA for 3 years, and credits Palmer Falgren and Fred Borden also for a lot of coaching help with her.
Well, Fred, he's just a fountain of knowledge. What doesn't that man know?
I don't think there is anything. You're right.
So either. Her mom's here with her.
Carol Kulik on hand.
She said her mother was a nervous wreck yesterday. I could see why.
Big shot.
Oh, great shot. She couldn't have thrown it any better. She wants to go another game.
So the rookie putting the pressure a little bit to the veteran.
Beautifully off her hand. Look at the power at the release, so smooth. I mean, that was just picture perfect. I don't think many guys could have thrown it better than that. Beautiful game for a power player. She's so smooth. I like that.
Carolyn not watching at all. She's telling herself what she needs to do.
Beautiful finish by Kelly.
And that count's going to help a little bit. Carolyn strikes, she'll just need a decent pin count after that. But she must have this strike, first strike here in the 10th, or we go to another championship match, because as we mentioned, Carolyn would have to be defeated twice.
This is what it's all about, Jan. The mental toughness, the hard work, comes down to this. Beautiful shot. And she gets it.
Ooh, and she's tight again, and the second goes down this time.
The pin that gave her so much trouble early on in the match.
She would need 8 on this shot to throw no other balls and win.
Great shot right off her hand. Makes a little turn left. She's been coming up light, just can't. She loved it. You think she loved it?
Wow, we didn't even need a mic on her. Big shot. Still a big shot. Needs to stay in the pocket.
She wanted it.
Husband Del Ballard, big breath of relief. Sister Kathy Doran-Lindsay crying next to me. Carolyn Doran-Ballard is the 2001 Queens champion. Stay with us for her crowning. You won't want to miss it.
The championship round finals of the 2001 WIBC Queens tournament are being brought to you by the Women's International Bowling Congress, striving for 86 years to identify and fulfill the needs of women bowlers. By El Dorado, Silver Legacy, and Circus Circus, presenting sponsors of the 2001 WIBC Queens tournament. And by PWBA.com, the official site for news and information about the Professional Women's Bowling Association.
Carolyn Doran-Ballard has etched her mark in WIBC Queens history. Final score 213 to 197. Joyce Deitch and Roseanne Kuhn of WIBC present trophy, tiara, and check. Join us again next Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for the finals of the St. Clair Classic right here on ESPN2. For Kathy Doran-Lindsay, I'm Jan Schmidt, saying thanks to all the moms out there for all you do. So long from Fort Lauderdale. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.